What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with some Raid Shadow Legends, and we're doing a bit of a fun video today. We're going to go in and do one of the Elite Clan quests this week, which is doing Fire Knight 20 or above with all Skinwalkers. Now, I know a lot of people don't like these quests. I'll wind up saying this probably a couple times in the video. I like to repeat myself for some reason, but I actually really enjoy these. I think it's kind of cool because it lets you use more of your roster. It lets you use a lot of champions you may just have sitting in the vault or you're just not using. And when you get to a certain point in the game, there's just really not a whole lot left to do in terms of content. You've usually got all your Doom Tower teams figured out. You've got all your dungeon teams figured out by this point. So it's kind of fun to have a different challenge. So I like to grab these quests, and one of my fellow content creators, Madcapper, also did one this week, so I'll link down below to his video. He's got a little bit of a better team than mine. I unfortunately don't have the best legendaries in the Skinwalker faction when it comes to things like Fire Knight. I do have some very strong legendaries like Norog and Coronar, Brachus, a couple other guys. I have a couple that I have not leveled up yet because by the time I got them, I was already done with Faction Wars. I don't really have a use for them anywhere else in the game, so they're kind of just sitting in my vault right now. So I wanted to kind of go with a team that I knew would be able to survive and get through this, and we kind of built this team on a strategy of multi-hitters and a lot of debuffs once we get to the Fire Knight. We'll get into the kits and the gear and everything after we get through the initial run. I do have it sped up here to 2 times basically because it did take a good bit of time here. I think it's a little over, it's between 6 and 7 minutes, I think, if I remember correctly. But again, this is like kind of a fun challenge. It's not going to be a super fast team. You just have to do it 10 times. You can auto this when you're AFK or doing whatever. But it was kind of a fun little experience here. And basically what we have here is we do have a Grappler who is a rare. He's in the lead. He has a all-spirit ally HP battle. HP battle, what am I saying? HP aura for all battles, as long as they're a spirit. So that's going to apply to Fane, Satyr, and Steel Skull here on the side. We do have Horfreeze in here at level 50, and that's mainly for the 2-man revive, because I kind of know using Fane, we're going to have some issues with survivability because Fane is really the only damage dealer on this team, and she's built for my Bat Eater clan boss team, so she's not the sturdiest. She's just kind of built for damage, and she's in a relentless set, which unfortunately is not that great. Draco got my better relentless set for the Bat Eater, and I haven't really used Fane in a long time until this quest popped up, so we kind of just threw her in there. Hopefully she gets a bunch of extra turns, but you can kind of see the concept here. We're getting a ton of poison up on the Fire Knight. Grappler has some poison. Steel Skull's got some poison. Satyr is our big turn meter guy there. You see he just hit the Fire Knight for a big turn meter drop. He's got a 4-hitter on the A2. Unfortunately, he does not use it when the shield is down. He'll try to use it when the shield is still up sometimes. You're not going to have the good AI with an uncommon champion, but we'll talk more about that later on. Again, Horfree is just in there kind of for that revive, and he does bring a little bit of extra utility with some buffs. And then Grappler's got this really cool A3 where he does put up a reflect damage shield, and basically what that ensures is that when the Fire Knight does get the shield back, we have that reflect damage up. So you see there instantly he went down to 6 hits on the shield. So great little ability that Grappler has there on the A3. I considered bringing more than one Grappler in for this just to kind of get that more hits on the shield. And Steel Skull's in here just to kind of heal and cleanse and keep us standing upright. So that's kind of the basics here for this team. So we should be finishing this up right now. Alright, so there you go, guys. Fire Knight 20 all Skinwalker challenge done and dusted. We'll have to do this obviously a couple more times to finish up that clan quest, but kind of a fun little team that we put together here. And like I said, we're able to use an uncommon and a rare, and we do have 40s at level 50. So kind of nice we didn't have to invest a ton of resources into this team. Let's see if the gear's any good. Nope, get rid of it. Accuracy with the speed, I'll go ahead and keep that. That's a pretty decent chest piece, so we'll see how that rolls. But let's go ahead and let's just get out of here. I don't think I'm going to try it on 25 just because it would be probably too difficult and take too much time at this point. But again, it's not really about making a fast time for this event. I just kind of wanted to have a little bit of fun with this. And one of the things when you get to the later stages of the game is you kind of lose stuff to challenge you anymore. So it's kind of cool when they do these clan quests for the different factions to kind of test your roster a little bit. and see what you have. I know some people don't like these quests, but I personally really enjoy them because it's kind of cool to take the different factions, especially when you have some of them developed up, to go ahead and try to attempt some of these. But like I was kind of saying, my legendaries, I have some decent ones in Skinwalkers, but they're just not really the type you want to use for the Fire Knight, because we just don't have a lot of multi-hitters there. So we got Fane. I haven't revisited her gear in quite some time. She's actually built to fit into my Bat Eater comp. She was one of my main damage dealers in that comp until I got Draco. So she's pretty much still in her old build. Kind of see her stats there. 226 is right in that sweet spot for the DPS in my Bat Eater, so that's why she's got that. Her numbers are not that great. 4,000 attack, that should be a lot higher. We just tried to crit cap her for Clan Boss basically, and she's got enough accuracy to land her debuffs. But that can kind of give you an idea of where her stats are coming from. I'll just show you the masteries too. Again, pretty standard for accuracy in Clan Boss. Now, we have 4 grapplers. So I actually wanted to try this with all 4 of them, but I may rerun this with all 4 and Hofori's and see if they can do it, just so they have that revive. Now, Grappler is really cool for a Fire Knight. I did a video on him a long time ago, talking about how when my account was first coming up, he was one of the main champions that I used to help me actually finish Fire Knight 20, because he is Spirit Affinity, he's strong affinity there, and his kit's actually pretty solid. For the Fire Knight, you got the 2-hitter on both the A1 and the A2, and he gets the reflect damage on the A3, which you saw a couple times in that run where we had that reflect damage up. The Fire Knight was getting his shield back, but it didn't matter, because when he would hit our team, we would put 4 or 5 hits back on the shield from that reflect damage that Grappler was putting out. So he's actually a pretty strong Fire Knight champion despite being a rare. This is my Grappler I made who basically soloed the Spirit Room and the Hard Doom Tower, which is why you see him, and he's in Regen set and Immortal set. And basically what I was trying to do with this Grappler was build him to solo the Dragon, kind of like you see the Tomb Lord solos. It's still a project I'm working on. We haven't quite got the stats high enough yet, but he's still pretty awesome. That's also one of the reasons we got him in the counterattack accessory, was to kind of get him to put out a couple more poisons. But you can see here, his gear is pretty good. It's the best I could get to roll on him. We got a pretty nice banner there with double speed roll, which is pretty good. And then we've got him in speed boots. Unfortunately, that rolled flat defense all 4 times. It would have been nice to get the HP. We were really hoping to get the HP there, but unfortunately, those are kind of some throwaway boots I just put on him. And then he's in a 5-star weapon. We got to change that out at some point. We got triple speed on there. We can still glyph up a little bit. So you can see here, we also wanted to make sure we got a little bit of accuracy, so he's landing those poisons and the weaken and his other abilities. But we were mainly just going for HP, and he's in a 5-star HP chest still. So we've still got a lot of room to grow with his gear. I can kind of show you his masteries there. We do have him in War Master to help do a little bit of damage when we used him for solo stuff, just to have a little bit of fun. But obviously I have 4 of these guys built. He's one of my favorite champions in the game. I was trying to basically just build a Grappler army here, which we'll show off at some point. It's a project I'm working on just for some fun content. But one of my favorite champions in the game, you guys know I love Grappler, and I wanted to kind of just again sing his praises as to how solid he is as a rare champion. Also, if you pull him early enough in game, he can be really good in Clan Boss for you with his kicks. He's got the poison, the reflect damage, and the shields and everything. So pretty solid champion overall. So then we do have Satyr here, and I've talked about him a lot too. This guy's an uncommon. I think, everybody always talks about Arminger. I think this guy is in the same class as Arminger, and I just realized he's missing a gear piece here, and we still used him in that. So shows you how much I was paying attention there. I don't know, maybe we have a perception helmet we can throw on him, because this poor guy is missing some accuracy here. That's pretty funny. Let's see, what do we got on this? We got speed, defense, HP, attack. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty solid. Let's just throw that on him there to make sure he's got his gear completed, but that's funny. I had no idea that his gear wasn't done. I probably stole some pieces off of him after I used him in Faction Wars, because I actually did use Satyr to help me finally beat Skinwalker Faction Wars a long time ago, mainly because of his kit is just absolutely ridiculous for bosses that you can reduce turn meter on. He's got the decreased speed on the A1, and then on the A2 is a 4-hitter, If it's critical, it decreases turn meter by 15%, and basically every single hit, I believe, can reduce that turn meter. So when he gets that on the Skinwalker Faction War boss in 21, or he hits it on the Fire Knight, it just drops that turn meter so quickly. Now, unfortunately, he uses it into the shield. They're not going to change the AI on an uncommon champion, so unlike Cold Heart, he won't hold that ability until the shield is down. I wish you could actually program that into the AI and basically be like, if the shield is up, don't use this ability, because that A2 is really strong on the Fire Knight if you can get him to be using it when that shield is not up. But you can kind of see his gear now that we put his helmet back on. he's decently fast, 194. Nowadays, I like to build all my champs if I can get them above 220, above 230. Because I do a lot of hard Doom Tower now, and I really want fast champions to be able to go in there and not have to worry about the other team getting any turns. Accuracy 243 now that we put that perception gear back on him. I think it was like 200 or 190 something before, but it was good enough to get us through the level 20 there. And his masteries are not done. I just went down to get War Master to finish Faction Wars with, basically to help him do a little bit extra damage on that boss. So that is a look at Satyr, and okay, it reset my... That's nice. For some reason, it popped this back up to the top. So let's go back down here. And actually, we forgot about Steel Skull. Really good champion, actually very good epic in Raid Shadow Legends. Very strong, pretty good in a lot of areas. Again, he is Spirit, so he's strong affinity there in the Fire Knight 20. Guy's a good clan boss champion as well. Pretty solid kit because he does have some poison. But mainly we had him in there for the healing. Removes all the debuffs. He does do the cleanse and heals. And then he's got this really nice 60% increased defense plus the heal of 20%. So he was really strong, helping me beat Faction Wars. Also, and his gear, again, on most of these Faction War champions, because at the time I got him, I wasn't using him in Clan Boss, I didn't really take any of his accessories up to 16 because I didn't want to spend the silver on it, so 12 was good enough in most cases just to get some basic stats on this guy. And he's just in speed and accuracy, some throwaway speed gear, but you can see again just the importance of having that speed gear. He's at 239 speed, so that's going to be pretty much good enough for any of the content we're running him in, which would be Faction Wars, or if we do something like this challenge for the Fire Knight. So then enough accuracy also to go ahead and land those poisons that he has. So his defense could be a little bit higher, but again, he's so fast that most of the rest of the team is going to go and take turns around him, so he's usually not going to take too many hits. So that's our Steel Skull. And then lastly, we do have Hofaries, who was a later addition to the game. Actually, after I beat Faction Wars, I got this guy. He would have been super helpful in Faction Wars because he does have that two-man revive, which is a very strong ability. And actually, one of the easiest ways to get through Faction Wars is to have a strong reviver on your team that's very fast and that can be very sturdy. But that's the reason we did not take him to 6 stars yet. I haven't really had a reason to do it. We just had him at 50. And really, this is the first time I've pretty much used this champion in any content, because by the time he came out, I didn't really need him for Faction Wars. But you can see here, we've just done the bare minimum on the masteries, just the first couple. You can do this in Minotaur in probably like 5 minutes if your Minotaur team is fast enough. So we just did enough to get him a couple rows filled out to get some basic boosts there. And this is his big thing, this Eternal War. We did put some books in him, but you can see revives 2 random allies with 50% HP and fills the turn meter. And they get the strengthen buff on all the allies. And he's got a nice resistance aura for all battles, which is pretty handy. But this is really strong, like I said, in Faction Wars. You saw him use it several times in that first wave, which basically carried us through the Fire Knight battle. But again, we didn't really do much with the gear. We don't have anything rolled past 12 on the accessories. And we can see, though, again, this is kind of the importance. I always talk about gear over champions. Even with him being level 50, we don't have a banner, which we could get some extra speed off of. We've still got him at 227. On the speed, which is pretty good. It's going to be good for, that would be fine for Faction Wars. We could probably run him there at level 50. Defense could be higher again. We like to shoot for at least 3,000 just base on usually all of our champions. And HP is high enough, to where he's got that survivability. But again, he's paired up with Steel Skull, so you're going to constantly be getting that healing, bouncing back and forth. Plus, Grappler's got that shield and reflect damage, so it's kind of synergy. All the defensive champs kind of pair themselves together, and it's just clearing content like this. It kind of shows you again that you don't need the big time damage champion. You can get those really good support champions that debuff and do turn meter. I mean, we basically just took the Fire Knight down with poison. We kept enough poison on him to really prevent any type of his healing from taking over. We had enough abilities to keep the shield down with consistency. We didn't really have a whole lot of turn meter reduction, which is really what you need to beat Fire Knight, but we were able to still do it with this team and kind of have a fun little challenge. So that's pretty much going to do it for this video, guys. I like to do these fun little videos when I can, when we get these quests for the clan. I was going to say clan versus clan, but for just the clan in general, every week when you get these quests. They're kind of cool. Like I said, I like the challenge of it. I'm at the point in the game where there's really not much that I have left to do in the game besides Platinum Arena, and it's like I really just like to have something different to do. I like the content where it's like I can use these different champions that most people wouldn't use, or just in general you wouldn't build. So it's kind of fun for me. I like to do it. I like to attempt these and also show off like the satyrs and the grapplers, so you can see that the uncommons and the rares actually can make quite an impact when you're trying to get through some of this content. So as always, guys, if you have any questions about anything you saw in the video, feel free to leave it down below, and I'll do my best to answer it as soon as I can. As always, I hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you again next time.